Have you ever wondered how you can tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile? Well, you have to pay attention to see if the animal sees you later or in a while. So cheesy and dumb.
Sarah was laughing for like 10 minutes, full laugh for
Full on cackling at this joke. I don't laugh usually at these jokes, but oh my god, I saw on a TikTok this woman did it, this older woman, and
Sarah died. Sarah was literally dying. It's like a dad joke. But then again, you do like
it's
dad
a mom
jokes.
joke. I thought it was so funny.
So I'm glad we started this video off on a happy note, because the video is not a happy video. I think some people who come to this video this will be the first time they've heard of it. The title of the video, okay, so basically I'm gonna have Sarah read from the article, but it looks like Tobin is done in Manchester for the season. We don't know what it means after, we don't know what it means for a contract, but we know she's done playing in Manchester for the season, and she's going back to the States. New injury that is not her ankle, it is her knee. So I'm gonna have Sarah read. I know.
Same leg?
That's a good question, actually.
Okay, Manchester United's Heath returns to U.S. after season-ending injury. UN's women's international midfielder Tobin Heath has suffered a setback in her return from her injury and will not play for club side Manchester United again this season, sources confirmed to ESPN. Heath had missed the last 3 months due to an ankle injury, and while she has recovered from the ailment, she has now sustained a knee injury. Sources confirmed that Heath has returned to the U.S. to continue her rehab in hopes of being ready for the June training camp with the U.S. women's national team ahead of the Olympics in Tokyo this summer. The 32-year-old Heath has yet to appear for the U.S. in 2021. In terms of Heath's future with Man United, Red Devils manager Casey Stoney added that there has been no decision to whether Heath will sign a new contract. We've had minimal conversations, Stoney told the BBC. Her focus right now is rehab. I will be in contact with her while she's in the US, and we'll have further discussions moving forward. At the moment, there is no decision.
Fortunately, Tobin picked up a knee injury. So she's had a bit of a setback, and she's actually gone back to the US to do her rehab to give her every opportunity to try and be fit for the Olympics.
So I did play a little bit of what Casey was saying. Well, the way she says it could say a lot. Is it serious? Is it not serious? This article isn't really saying how serious it is. But just by hearing that, the very first thing I thought of was the Olympics. I mean, the Olympics have been so wild because they were supposed to be last summer. Now they're this summer.
And that's why I literally forgot about them. So
I know.
Sorry.
And so that's my first thought. Is she going to be healthy for the Olympics? And I feel bad because I like her at Man United, but I wasn't even thinking, the end of the season at Man United. I was thinking, oh my God, the Olympics.
Yeah, that's her, main focus right now. And
yeah.
Yeah, because she's rehabbing that knee.
Yeah. And then
leg.
like you had said, is it the same... Is it the same leg?
Or different
That's
leg?
such an interesting question because I hadn't even thought of that. And I don't know. I kind of was reading around. I did not see that. I did not see that if it was the same leg. I'm going to have Sarah read a little bit more about the situation because they explain it way more than we could explain it.
Okay, so Tobin Heath, 32, made the decision to conduct rehab stateside so she can work with her personal medical team. A source familiar with Heath's thinking told The Athletic. She hopes to be ready and healthy for the Olympics this summer. She's an experienced player, and unfortunately she's been in a situation like this before where she's coming back from injury and needs to recover quick, U.S. Women's National Team manager Vlatko said in mid-February. I think that we're not going to have any problem, and I'm confident that Tobin will do whatever it takes to get ready for the Olympics.
Okay, so
This was before, though.
He had said that before.
In addition to this new knee injury, Tobin has been recovering from her ankle injury that she suffered in January that had an initial recovery time of 10 to 12 weeks.
Okay, so this was like the question also. Will she make it back for the Olympics? We're going to read this and then we're going to talk about it.
So, can Heath make it back in time for the Olympics? So Tobin's no stranger to bouncing back, y'all know. She missed most of the 2017 NWSL season with a lingering back injury, only to return for the postseason and immediately have an ankle problem. The timing is less than ideal, though, with the expectations that the U.S. Women's National Team roster will be settled by mid-June.
Oh, that was the first thought I had. So, they're having friendly warm-up matches in June, in a camp in June, and that by all accounts is going to be one of the main deciding factors to who makes it on the roster. I believe there's going to be one more after that, but my thought is if Tobin is not ready for that June those June matches, does that mean she's out of contention for the Olympics? You know, if she doesn't, either if she's not healthy or if she's not performing at the level that you need to be performing for the Olympics, will she not be considered for the Olympics? And then it finishes up saying, without further details on the knee injury, it is hard to know her exact chances. The U.S. soccer technical staff is sure to be heavily involved in monitoring her return. But for Heath, her return to the pitch for Manchester United was definitely part of the original plan for her Olympic prep. Because we've talked about this too. Is a 80% Tobin Heath better than 100% someone else? You know what I mean?
Player. Yeah.
So if she doesn't make it to these friendlies, why, you know, does that mean she's out of contention? You know, who knows? I mean, that's one of the questions we have answered. Then I kind of was reading around on the internet to see what people thought. And people think one of two things. People think the fact that she is coming back to the States either means it's really serious and they don't trust Man United. The fact that U.S. soccer is saying, you know, come back, that means U.S. soccer doesn't trust Man United's trainers there. Come back. We have to make sure you're doing everything possible for the Olympics for the United States.
Yeah, I mean, I bet she's more familiar with the
Yeah,
U.S.
exactly.
program.
And when she had her injury in 2017, she even thanked the medical staff. You guys got me, you know, helped me get to optimal health, and I'm appreciative of that. You know, and it's hard.
Well, I think they'll the U.S. will know how to, you know, rehabilitate her a bit better.
You do.
Not better, but like I said, they're more she's more familiar with them. They're more familiar with her. They know her style.
You know,
they know what's up.
Right.
And they're trying to get her Olympic ready,
So that's one aspect of it, because I think a lot of people when they first heard it, like me, thought the Olympics first. I did. I mean,
Me too.
I didn't think necessarily Man United, but now the question is, how does it look like? Does it seem like Tobin and Kristen are going to stay at Man United, stay in another contract at Man United? Okay, so I know we read this earlier when we were reading about Man United and Tobin, but let's kind of go over this part that Casey Stoney had to say about that.
Casey Stoney on Tobin Heath and a new contract. It's not been decided yet. We've had minimal conversations. Her focus right now is rehab. I will be in contact with her while she's out there in the U.S., and we'll have a further discussion moving forward. At the moment, there's no decision.
Yeah. Does that strike you as someone who seems, you know, when she used the word minimal discussion, that seems weird to me, that there's been minimal discussion. Yeah. That seems weird to me because two things. One, I think Tobin and Kristen would want to know where they're going to go next year, kind of plan for that. But B, I would assume Casey Stoney needs to know, because she needs to know how to prepare for the club. Do they need to get in other players to replace Kristen and Tobin? Mm-hmm. Do they need to start, you know, wooing other players to come to Man United? That seems weird that it's minimal. That makes me think that I was 100% set that they wanted to stay at Man United. Now I'm kind of more 50-50, almost saying maybe they want to leave Man United, come back to the States. Because I've said this before, and I think some people think that the WSL overworks some of its athletes because they don't fully recover from injuries and they get injured again.
And maybe that's why she's coming to the U.S.
Yeah, that they overwork their athletes. And then someone left in the comments a good point too, that, you know, I was thinking U.S. soccer doesn't like that. But then remember, Tobin and Kristen are not allocated players. So they don't really have say what they can do or not do. But if they want to be on the squad for the Olympics, they have say. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it makes me think that they're closer to not going back than going back based on what Casey Stoney says. You know,
seems all pretty up in the air.
Do you think, say Man United works their athletes too much? I'm just saying, I don't think they do. I don't know enough to have an opinion. Say they do. Would you want Tobin or the rest of the Americans to be over there if you know that they're overworking their athletes?
I mean, not necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, you want them to be in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
For the Olympics. And, you know, like the more important stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they would agree, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing, the reason why it's kind of weird about, you know, a lot of the U.S. players, the U.S. take the national team far more seriously than club teams overall. Mm-hmm. But a lot of international players who have club teams and who have their national teams take their club teams far more serious.
Wild.
So the United States is kind of different in that sense. I mean, you could say,
everything is poured into
Yeah.
the U.S. women's national team.
Yeah, exactly,
I mean-
exactly. Like, it's almost like club teams are a second thought to the U.S. players, which I don't know if it should be like that or shouldn't, but that's the way it seems to be. But, like, say if you go to, like, the Arsenal squad or the Chelsea squad, they're as committed to Arsenal and Chelsea as they are to their national teams, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, the football culture over there is
Yeah, but
cray.
it also might be because they paid Sam Kerr millions of dollars. Well, of course you're going to take millions of dollars for this club team rather than your Australia team because you were given millions of dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is 3 games left. So that means Tobin's already coming over the United States. So does that mean she's already over here? She probably is by now already over here is my guess. And 3
Yeah,
games
saw her
left.
last week.
You said three games left, and that means Kristen's gonna be, playing in Manchester for the next few weeks not by herself. She has her teammates, but Tobin has gone home. Does that mean Tobin took all her belongings and then Kristen's just gonna come? Because they took a lot of stuff with them. I know, It sucks for Kristen too that she's gonna be there. When I say by herself, obviously she has her teammates, but by herself. You've had your partner there with you so long. So U.S. Soccer, and then I also read that U.S. Soccer requested her to be back to be evaluated for the camps in the Olympics. I mean, part of me thinks that it's not as bad as it's almost being reported. They're going on the side of caution, overly cautious. That's kind of the way I'm reading it a little bit.
Same. Because, I mean, yeah, you don't want to over injure yourself.
Yeah.
Or re-injure
Yes.
or injure something else.
And I feel like U.S. Soccer doesn't trust Man United. And like I said, not that they have any say in what happens, but if Tobin wants to be on the Olympic squad, they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, what do you guys think? That's the big story. And I did read another comment. Someone thought, given all these injuries and everything, could this be going on the other side of that? Could this be a career-ending type injury
No.
situation?
Don't even.
I know. Especially, I think
I hadn't thought of that, but thanks for depressing me now.
Well, because I mean, that's like Carly Lloyd. She just had her 300 cap, and she's 38 years old. And
Carly will retire when she's 60, okay?
she would actually before that. So don't get radius. But it's just like going back to what Carly Lloyd has done and been so longevity. That Tobin is what 31, 30,
32.
32. That's still on the age range of not being an older player. I think once you hit 34, that's when you're really an older player. So it's
Very
just
mature.
I hope this isn't serious. I want to see her. I mean, I want her to be at the Olympics so bad. I want to see her at the Olympics. But like we've talked about again, there's only 18 slots for the Olympics. So does that mean that means that those spots are even more precious because there's only 18 spots?
I know.
I hope this isn't, but I'm hoping it's just they're taking extra precaution. That's really what I think.
I do too. I agree.
And
I hope and I agree.
And I think it's not a bad thing if they have the fans thinking it's bad and then Tobin come back. It's worse opposite. If they make it seem, it's not bad, and then Tobin doesn't come back, that's more hard to deal with, I think.
Right. Yeah.
What do you guys think? I'm going to miss Tobin. Good luck to Kristen for the next 3 games in Manchester. But sad that, I don't want to see her injured. I don't want to see any of the gals injured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I know.
Sarah and I have been watching a lot of games recently. And it's just the physicality of soccer and the toll it takes on these women's body is just so immense that I think sometimes we forget because it's not really a contact sport, but what these women and men who play men's soccer, it's just like such a physical game.
It's not for the faint of heart.
No, they put their bodies on the line each and every day, each and every game. They really do.
Scary if you think about it.
It really is. What do you guys think? What's your snap reaction? Questions, comments down below. Let us know what you think. If we hear anything else, we'll let you know. But that's how it is right now. Thanks for being with us.
See you later, alligator. In a while, crocodile.
Talk to you guys
End it
later.
there.
Bye.